We have competitive paranoia, urgency, balance, thoughtful risk-taking, and courage. When you boil it down, simplicity, focus, and repeatability are at the heart of everything. So what can companies do to succeed in this most volatile of business worlds? At Heidrick Struggles, we've thought very hard, very long, about how to encapsulate the things we've learned from working with some of the world's most successful businesses. We think it boils down to this. First, you choose the race you want to compete in, and then you run faster than your competitors. To survive and succeed, you've got to accelerate performance. That means reducing the time to value by building and changing momentum more quickly than your competitors. By analysing the performance of elite global organisations, we can identify insights that can help accelerate any company's performance. Let's start with the people right at the top. Leaders of elite organisations have 4 key differentiating skills. They develop foresight so that they can see around corners and anticipate threats and opportunities better than their competitors. They allocate resources to suit the organisation's prospects, not its politics. They reframe issues to solve paradoxes and move beyond simple either-or thinking. And they embody an entrepreneurial, more responsive style of leadership. By forensically examining the performance of these leaders and their companies, we know that today the returns for out-execution outweigh strategy. Strategy still matters, don't get me wrong, but execution matters much more. And that's mostly about people. Today, the returns on talent are higher than the returns on capital. Through our research, we've worked out how to combine the ingredients for success so that your organisation can deliver a winning performance. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. We started by studying a whole host of factors to determine what could possibly influence business success. Everything from a company's organisational model, to the size of its headquarters, to the degree of diversity it embraces. From there, we developed a huge number of hypotheses and began to test them with companies. 13 factors turned out to be the most relevant drivers of business performance. A surprisingly small number of elite organisations were doing all of these 13 things brilliantly. We call these the superaccelerators. To qualify as a superaccelerator, the bar is really high. You have to be able to outperform the FT 500 list in revenue growth in the short term and the long term. And the growth needs to have been at least 80% organic, so there's no way of buying your way to the top. Funding from your home government will account for no more than 20% of revenues, and you will have maintained or increased net income in the long term, meaning that you aren't sacrificing profitability for growth. Now, only 23 companies out of 500 passed all those tests. The superaccelerators are fueled by a core set of drive factors. They put their customers first. They have a clear purpose, and they engage in what we call productive paranoia. Their structures are above all simple. Whether they're creating software or transporting passengers, doing that core task efficiently and well is their primary driver. They create the space to innovate, and they encourage dissent. They're very human organisations where a sense of purpose and meaning prevails. And they're more agile. And when you put all that together, it allows them to speed up their corporate metabolic rate. This is quite the opposite of the drag factors that hold other companies back. From our research, we identified 39 actions that can drive accelerated performance. And by studying hundreds of companies, we learned how they combine these differentiating actions into winning recipes. The data tells us that there are 4 recipes for being successful. One focuses on the customer experience, putting the customer right at the center of what the company does. One is about being a magnet for talent, by no means the only path to success, despite the hype around it. Another focuses on running the execution engine, where stability, efficiency, and consistency are the most important capabilities. And the fourth is the portfolio investor, which is able to match talent, capital, and ideas to opportunities in a seamless way. Organizations that try and master all of these recipes at once ultimately fail. Our data clearly indicates that accelerated performance comes from choosing one recipe and implementing it distinctively well. In the end, accelerated performance is down to leadership, your leadership. Those companies that can ramp up and attain accelerating performance enjoy leaders who are up to 4 times more productive than their peers, teams that create 22% more value, a greater agility and willingness to seek the next set of challenges, but most importantly, a higher valuation on the stock market. Remember, competitive advantage is fleeting. Companies that harness the ability to accelerate performance move more nimbly from opportunity to opportunity, winning the race, and then moving on to prepare for the next one, and the one after that. Mobilize, execute, and transform with agility. Win the race.